Communities, sort of local informal groups, really help their members to manage a lot of risks. They in fact sometimes are the only real safety net that poor people have access to, especially in low-income and fragile countries. There was this village in Tanzania with just 120 people, and it has no less than 40 different mutual insurance groups, things like burial society or shared agricultural labor, or they even patrol the village at night. And that's pretty much the pattern everywhere you look, that community groups are very concerned with health risks, with income loss, with crime and violence, and they try to manage these things, but they're also quite limited in what they can achieve because of their small size and informal nature. They can only do so much. So pretty much we find that communities are so much stronger when they receive outside support, when they're connected to markets, to other communities, so they're not isolated, and to governments. And we find that governments are not very accountable and responsive often to communities, and that's really holding local risk management back tremendously, because there are so many critical services such as policing, sanitation, trash pickup, urban planning, where communities cannot do it themselves, and they need these local governments to help them. But local governments really need to be more responsive and accountable to communities' risks for this to work better. Communities are small and informal groups, and that really limits how well they can manage larger risks and take advantage of larger opportunities that maybe require more advanced forms of organization and more capital. So they tend to be much better at smaller day-to-day risks. Moreover, they really need local governments to provide essential government services that only governments can provide, such as trash pickup and sanitation and clean water and policing and urban planning, and where many times these local governments are just not very accountable and responsive to communities' needs, and critical risk management therefore is missing. Communities need access to markets. They need access to other communities via policies that sort of help them bridge the divides in terms of religion or language or distance that they have to other communities, so that they can get larger scale. And they need more responsive and accountable governments, in particular local governments. And for that, policies that seek to include people can be useful, so that people can have more of a voice in government matters, and seek to influence local governments in particular in a direction that takes more account of their risks via, for example, provision of more reliable sanitation, water, trash pickup and urban planning, policing that's more respectful of people, so that the police becomes part of the solution and not the problem.